Hello students, according to CBSE guidelines, we have to follow NCERT only. So let's discuss chapter number 2 of physics, units and measurements. So in this chapter, the first topic is what do you mean by physical quantities or what are physical quantities? Students, anything which can be measured that are called physical quantities. For example, time, length, mass, force, work done, etc. We usually says it took me 1 hour to complete this task, so we can measure the time, so it is a physical quantity. Similarly, the length of this pen can be measured very easily. Suppose it is 12 centimeters, so I am measuring this length. So again, length is a physical quantity. Suppose this pen has mass 5 grams, and again, so mass will be a physical quantity. Similarly, we can discuss force and work done. In physics, what we have to do, we have to study all these physical quantities and their interrelationships. Interrelationships like speed is equal to distance upon time. So it gives us the relation between speed, distance and time, three physical quantities. So this is called interrelationship. Second point is measurement. Here we will discuss how we can measure a physical quantity. Like I have given you an example, this pen is of 12 centimeters, so I have measured this thing. Next topic is units. Like if I'll say this pen is of 12, now what is 12? 12 itself is nothing if I'll not write unit with it. If I'll write it is of 12 centimeter, so I have assigned a unit to its length. So if I'll write 12 centimeter, I'll understand easily that I'm talking about length only. And similarly, for example, if I'll write minute or seconds, I know this is a unit of time. So if I'll write 2 seconds, so it means I'm talking about time. So there are 4 basic properties of units. These must be well defined and they should be easily available. They should be accepted to all, like this should be universally accepted. If I am writing the unit of time as seconds, it should be universally accepted. Everywhere we'll write the unit of time is second and it is easily understandable and well accepted. They should be of convenient size. For example, we use different units like meter, centimeter. These are the smaller units to measure length, and we use kilometer also to measure the bigger units of to measure the bigger lengths. Next topic we will discuss fundamental quantities. So this is a set of physical quantities which are completely independent of one another. We will discuss this set. These are called fundamental quantities. So first fundamental quantity or first physical quantity is mass. This is also called basic SI unit, means these units are universally accepted. These are standard units which are internationally accepted. So first unit is mass. SI unit is kilogram, CGS is gram, and it is represented by the word M. So we will say notation is capital M. Similarly, for the length, we will write SI unit meter, CGS centimeter, and it is represented by the word L. For time, we will use SI unit second. We'll write CGS in CGS system. We'll write again second, and it is represented by capital T. For temperature, SI unit is Kelvin. CGS unit is degree Celsius, and it is denoted by the word theta. It is represented by theta. Next is current. SI unit is ampere. In CGS also we'll write ampere, and notation is I, capital I or capital A. Next is luminous intensity. Unit is candela, and it is represented by the word CD, and it should be in small, not in capital. Next, the last one, amount of substance. SI unit is mole, and we'll write notation also the same, MOL, mole, and it should be in smaller letter. Again, we have two more units which are called supplementary units, supplementary SI units, which are universally accepted. That is plane angle at the solid angle. Unit of plane angle is radian and symbol is RAD. Unit of solid angle is steradian and the symbol is SR. Now we have a formula for the angle, that is arc upon radius. You already did in the lower classes. For example, we are taking O as the center, and suppose the circle is traced over here, and suppose I have selected an arc which is having length L and radius R. Circle is having radius R. Suppose the angle subtended by this arc is theta. So angle is represented by theta, arc, the length of arc is L, and the distance or this, the length of the radius is R. So theta is equal to L by R. Next topic is derived quantities. So when we derive another physical quantity by using the basic quantities, that are called derived quantities. For example, when we want to find the unit of speed, or when we want to derive the another quantity, speed. Now the formula for the speed is distance upon time. The unit of distance is meter, the unit of time is second. So the unit of speed is meter per second. So what we have done, actually we have derived speed from the two basic physical quantities, and similarly we have derived the unit of speed here from the unit of length and time. So this is one example of the derived quantity. Similarly, we can discuss another quantities also. Next topic is system of units. It is a complete set of units which is used to measure the all kinds of the fundamental and the derived quantities. We have four system of units. So first system of units is CGS. C represents centimeter, which we use for length. G for gram, we will use unit gram for mass, and for time we will use second. So C for centimeter, G for gram, and S for the second. For the FPS system, for length we will use foot, P pound for mass, and S second for the time. That's why it is written FPS. Third is MKS system. For length I'll use meter, for mass I'll use kilogram, for time I'll use second. Next we'll come to the SI system of units, or international system of units, that we have already discussed. We have 7 quantities: length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and quantity. We have also discussed their SI units. For length we'll use meter, for mass we'll use kilogram, for time we will use second, for temperature we will use Kelvin, for electric current we'll use ampere, and for luminous intensity we'll use candela, and for quantity of matter we'll use mole. Next topic is parallax method. Now what is a parallax method? It is the apparent. Apparent means the thing which is imaginary, which does not actually happens but appears like this is happening. So it is an apparent shift in the position of the object with respect to another when we shift our eyes sidewise. So we'll do this with the help of example. Suppose I am placing, or I am holding a pencil or pen. So it's your wish. You can keep a pen or pencil here at the point O in front of you. Suppose I'll keep pen like this. Now what I'll do, when I'll keep my pen here, I'll firstly look at this pen. I'll close my right eye and look at this pen with the help of my left eye. I'll represent left eye, R represent right eye. I'll close my right eye and I'll see this object, this pen or pencil, with the help of my left eye. And when I'll see this object with the help of my left eye, what I will observe, it will shift to right. When I'll close my left eye then and see the same object with the right eye, I'll observe that it is shifted a little bit towards the left. So what is happening? According to me, the pen is shifting, but the pen is stationary, the pen is kept at the position O only. So this imaginary shift, when the pen changes its position, this is called parallax. And how we can find it? Suppose the distance between L and R is B, it is called basis. The distance, the angle between the these lines, that is called parallatic angle or parallax angle. The distance between the left eye and the object or the right eye and the object is represented by the S. So what is the formula for the angle? Angle is equal to arc upon radius. Theta is equal to arc upon radius. If B can be considered as arc and S can be considered as radius, so theta is equal to B by S. So from here we can easily find the distance between the eye and the object. Here we have eye, here is the object. From here take S on the other side and theta on this side. S is equal to B by theta. So this is the parallax method. Let's discuss a numerical now. Calculate the angle of 1 degree, 1 minute. This is firstly degree. Degree is represented by this symbol. Then this is minute. This is called minute of arc. Then again we have to find, this is the symbol for second. If I'll put 2 commas like this, this is a symbol for second. This is called second of arc. Now it is also given to you in the numerical, 360 degrees are equivalent to 2 pi radians. Because it is written calculate the angle. So what is the unit of angle? We have already discussed, it is radian. If we'll talk about the solid angle, it will be steradian. And 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. This is also given to you. This you have to learn. Again 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds. 1 degree is equivalent to 60 minutes. This is a symbol for minute. And 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So this is given to you in the numerical, and we have to change all these 3 terms into angle. We have to find the angle of these 3. So let's start. First is, we'll use unitary method to solve this thing. As we know, 360 degree is given to us, that is equivalent to 2 pi. We have to find the angle of 1 degree. If 360 degree is equivalent to 2 pi radians, then 1 degree will be equivalent to 2 pi upon 360. Means you can simplify it, it will become pi by 180 radians. What is pi? That is 22 by 7 into 1 by 180, that is equal to 11 by 630. If you will solve it again, or you will simplify it, you will find that you will get answer 0.01746. Now change it into scientific notation. When you will change it into scientific notation, you want the point to be here. It means you will write 1.746 into, these should be before the point, into 10 raised power minus 2 radians. Because this term is very small, that's why we'll put here negative in the power. So we have converted, we have done the first A part. We have converted 1 degree into radians. So 1 degree is equivalent to 1.746 into 10 raised power minus 2 radians. Now our B part is 1 minute. We have to find it for the 1 minute. Now as we know, 1 degree it is equivalent to 60 minutes. What is the value of 1 degree? We have find it now. 1 degree is equivalent to 1.746 into 10 raised power minus 2 radian. Now it means 60 minute, or 1 degree it is equivalent to 60 minute, means 60 minute it is equivalent to 1.746 into 10 raised power minus 2 radian. Again we will use unitary method. 1 minute it is equivalent to 1.746 divided by 60 into 10 raised power minus 2. When I'll simplify it, when I'll divide 1.746 divided by 60, I'll get 0.02 0.91 into 10 raised power minus 2. Again change it into scientific notation. I want the point to be here, and this is again a smaller term. So I will write 2.91. How many digits are there before the point? 1, 2. So I'll add 2 more digits here. It will be 10 raised power minus 4 radian. I can write RAD also, that is symbol for the radian, or I can write the full word also, radian. Now the third one, 1 second we have to find. We have to convert 1 second and we have to find the angle of this. Now 1 minute, it is equivalent to 60 seconds, we know. And what is the answer of 1 minute? Here 1 minute is equivalent to 2.91 into 10 raised power minus 4 radian. So we will write it here. 1 second is 1 minute, it is equivalent to 60 seconds, that is equivalent to 2.91 into 10 raised power minus 4 radian. Again use the unitary method. Now 60 seconds, it is equivalent to this. So 1 second will be equivalent to 2.91 into 10 raised power minus 4 divided by 60. So again simplify it, you will get 0.0485 into 10 raised power minus 4. Again change into scientific notation. We want this point to be here. Means 4.85. How many digits we shift? 1, 2. So again add 2 here. 10 raised power minus 6 radians.